Ready to dive in? Today, it's Never Split the Difference, Chapter 1. Want to be the smartest person in the room? This is how. Straight from an FBI hostage negotiator.
Yeah, you might be surprised. Hostage situations and like daily life, they don't seem connected, but the psychology, it's kind of universal.
It really is.
Yeah.
Chapter 1, it kind of sets the scene, right? Chris Voss, the author, he goes to Harvard, thinks he's going to school those business types on negotiation. Figured the FBI had it all figured out.
Oh, yeah.
But
He got a lesson himself.
big time.
Yeah.
Like constantly learning, right? Which is cool. So Voss, with this crazy background counterterrorism, that wild Brooklyn bank robbery standoff,
Oh, intense.
he had a lot to teach, but also a lot to learn. Speaking of that bank robbery, that's where he really gets into this mirroring thing. Sounds basic, just repeating what someone says, but man,
It's powerful.
he used it to totally de-escalate the whole hostage thing.
It's like deep down, we all want to be heard, you know? Not mimicked, but like understood. Mirroring, it shows you get them, even without saying it. Disarming, especially when things are tense.
And here's the thing that got me the big takeaway for Voss at Harvard. It wasn't about being tough, hardball tactics, nothing like that.
Yep.
It was active listening, understanding the other person, like emotionally, which back then, even the FBI was just figuring that out.
Huge change. The old way. Rational negotiator, all logic. FBI realized, nope, emotions run the show even when we think we're being all logical. You get someone's emotions, you can influence them. That's a negotiation right there.
It's that saying, people don't buy what you do, they buy why you do it. Connect emotionally, then persuade.
Exactly.
Like Voss in that bank robbery, he used his voice on purpose. Deep, authoritative, late-night DJ voice for commands. Then playful, kind of teasing, to build rapport, like different characters for different effects. The book even breaks those voice techniques down. Anyone can practice them.
So important. Your tone, it's a huge giveaway, but people don't pay attention to it enough. Different tones, different messages.
You can change how people see you just with your voice.
Absolutely.
Now, Voss, he also talks about this time he volunteered for a crisis hotline. Did not go well.
Yeah.
Went in thinking he had to fix everyone's problem.
Whoa, yeah, I read that.
Backfired big time.
That story, it gets to the heart of Chapter 1. Good negotiation, it's not about fixing stuff for the other person. It's guiding them to their own solution, making them feel understood, in control. That's where real persuasion happens.
Like give a man a fish. But here it's help a man find his own solution.
And he's empowered forever.
Right. Their own motivation, feeling like they're driving. So for our listeners out there, want to be the smartest in the room.
It's that shift, you know, from winning to understanding, truly listening, getting their emotions, making them feel heard.
Makes sense.
That's the foundation, trust and rapport, whether it's a business deal or just like a fight with your partner.
So it's not just having the answers.
Right.
It's asking the right questions and actually hearing the answers. Curious, not just clever.
Yes. And speaking of clever, in part 2, we're going to get into this tool. It's called labeling. You literally say the other person's emotion out loud. Sounds crazy, but Voss says it's like magic to calm things down. Stay tuned. Back again. We were talking about that mindset shift, winning to understand them. That leads us to this awesome technique Voss talks about. It's called labeling.
This one, I was like, what? You actually say the other person's emotion. Like, hey, you seem frustrated, or it sounds like you're worried. I figure that's just going to make it matter. But Voss says it's like magic to calm things down.
Kind of IS magical. It's how our brains work, right? When
Yeah.
someone gets us, even just saying the emotion, it chills us out. Like, finally someone sees me. We feel safer, more open to working together.
So not agreeing with the emotion, just acknowledging it. You're not saying, yeah, you should be angry. Just seems like you're angry.
Right. And the tone, got to be neutral, no judgment, not fixing it, just reflecting it back like a mirror. That validation, man, is powerful.
That's like taking the sting out. They're heard, so not so defensive anymore.
Yep. And once you've labeled it, you can ask a question to get them talking more, like, what's making you feel that way? Or biggest concern right now?
So connecting this to our listeners, they want to be the smartest person there. How's labeling help with that?
It shows them you're not just hearing words, you're picking up on feelings. That's emotional intelligence right there. Deeper connections, better at handling conflict, getting what you want in the end.
Speaking their language, but the emotional kind. So they're more open to what you're saying.
Exactly. Now, Voss also talks about your voice. We touched on this before. The Brooklyn bank robbery story, different voices for different effects.
Oh yeah, the late night DJ voice, all authoritative.
Yeah.
Then the playful one to connect with the guy. Crazy how much our voice changes how people see us.
We don't think about it enough. Voss breaks it down, though, makes it easy. Slow down, lower your pitch, pauses. Boom, you sound calm, in charge.
Like you're running things, but not being a jerk about it.
Right. Then that higher, more fun tone builds rapport, makes people feel closer to you. It's that balance, authority and empathy depends on the situation.
So, smartest person in the room. They got to be a voice master, using it as a tool to get people on their side.
Totally. And that brings up another big thing from chapter 1. Fair is the most dangerous word when you're negotiating.
Well, hold on. Why is fair so bad?
Because fair means different things to different people, right? It's subjective. You say fair, they get to define it, which might not be good for you.
So ditch fair. Focus on what's good for both sides.
Bingo! It's not a fight anymore, it's teamwork. Finding that solution everyone can live with. And part of that is understanding the other person's, Voss calls it their religion.
Not like actual religion, more like their core beliefs, the stuff they really value.
Yeah, it's their worldview, why they do what they do. Goes back to listening and asking those smart questions. Get their religion. You can frame things so it appeals to them, makes them want to move in your direction.
So smartest person ain't the one with the best arguments. It's the one who gets the other person, tailors their message.
You got it. More psychologist than lawyer, understanding their WHY, not just trying to win a fight.
Voss also talks about tactical empathy. What's that all about?
It's getting inside their head, not just intellectually, but emotionally, feeling what they feel. Not about being nice, it's about using that knowledge to your advantage.
So empathy as a tool to get what you want.
Kinda, yeah. But not manipulating or taking advantage. It's about guiding them towards a solution that works for both of you.
Like you catch more flies with honey, being empathetic, things are more chill, people want to work with you this year. You're more likely to get what you're after.
Exactly. And that leads us to another technique Voss talks about. Calibrated questions. Open-ended, start with how or what. Get them talking, revealing information.
Give me an example.
Okay, say you want a raise. Instead of, I deserve a raise, ask, how can I help the company even more? Or, what are the most important things in this job?
Ah, I see. You're not just getting info, you're kind of steering the conversation, right? Towards what you want.
You got it. And they feel in control, like they're running things, even though you're nudging them along.
Like that movie Inception, planting ideas and dreams. You're not forcing it, just guiding.
Perfect analogy. Gotta be subtle, strategic, like you said. Not too pushy, just a gentle nudge.
So want to be the smartest? Master those calibrated questions.
Powerful stuff. Gathers info, influences people, helps you get what you're after.
Now, Voss also talks about saying no the right way. Seems weird, but he says it can actually give you more control. How's that work?
Right, we're all about yes is good, no is bad. But Voss makes a strong case for no. Setting boundaries, protecting yourself, not getting stuck with a deal that stinks.
So being assertive, not aggressive.
Exactly. Stand up for yourself, but keep the conversation going. Voss gives some good tips. Phrases like, not comfortable with that, or doesn't work for me right now.
Clear, direct, but not starting a fight.
Yep. And he says, use those calibrated questions to soften the blow. Instead of just, nope, can't do that, it's, how can we make this work for both of us?
I like that. Keeps things moving, everyone's working together.
Exactly. Shows you're not saying no to be difficult. You genuinely want to find a solution that benefits everyone.
So for our listeners, saying no the right way, it's actually a power move. Helps you get what you want.
For sure. Be assertive, set boundaries, and use those calibrated questions to keep things smooth.
This is great stuff. I'm already seeing how this applies outside of like formal negotiations, just daily life.
Me too. Voss is like giving us the code to how people work.
So lots covered in this chapter. Labeling, saying no. But before we wrap part 2, let's tie it back to our listeners. They want to be the smartest in the room. What's the big takeaway?
I think it's this. Being the smartest, it ain't about having all the answers or talking the most. It's about understanding people. Mastering that, the listening, the empathy, connecting with them. Build that emotional intelligence. Use it to get what you want. And remember, negotiating, it's not a battle. It's a dance. Everyone can win.
Well said. Not the loudest voice, the most insightful listener. Not winning arguments, but winning people over.
Exactly. That's real success in any negotiation, any relationship, anything, really.
Makes you think. I'm ready to go try this stuff out.
Definitely. And next time, we're going even deeper. How to figure out people's hidden needs. How to use those black swans to your advantage. Building a strategy that can't fail. Stick with us.
Welcome back. We're in the final stretch of our Never Split the Difference deep dive, Chapter 1, man. So many tools, mirroring, labeling, those calibrated questions. Like, suddenly I kind of get how people work.
Right, but knowing how they work's only part of it. To really be the smartest person there, gotta know how to use all this.
Exactly. And that's where those black swans come in, right? The
Yeah.
stuff Voss talks about, like hidden info that changes everything. Those aha moments that flip a negotiation on its head.
Yeah, those black swans, they're like, the things we don't even know we don't fit our little ideas of how things should be. But Voss says finding them, that's the key to getting amazing results.
So how do we find them? They're not just going to like wave a flag and say, hey, look at me.
It's all about those questions, the calibrated ones. Dig deep, don't take anything for granted, really listen. That's how those hidden gems start popping up, give you an edge, you know?
Like being a detective, finding the clues no one else sees.
Totally. Voss has some awesome stories about this, like negotiating to free an American hostage in the Philippines.
Wow.
Kidnappers wanted this huge ransom, seemed impossible, but Voss, he kept digging, asking questions.
I'm on the edge of my seat here.
And he found it, the black swan, this tiny bit of info that changed everything.
Okay, what was it?
Turns out, one of the kidnappers loved American basketball. Voss used that, built a connection, found common ground, got the hostage freed.
No way. Just goes to show, the best stuff is hidden. Got to be looking for it.
Be curious, pay attention, don't be afraid to dig a little deeper. Now, Voss also talks about different kinds of leverage you can use, breaks it down, positive, negative, and normative.
Okay, break it down for me. Positive leverage, that's like the carrot, right? Give them something they want. They're more likely to do what you want.
Exactly. Find that win-win. Negative leverage, though, that's the stick. You can take something away or make things BD if they don't cooperate.
Gotcha. And normative leverage, that's more about their beliefs, right? Like, you want to be the kind of person who breaks a promise.
You got it. It's appealing to their sense of right and wrong, their identity even.
So, smartest person in the room, they not only know these types of leverage, they know when to use them.
And how to mix them up. It's having all the tools, knowing which one to use at the right time. Voss also talks about prepping for a negotiation, thinking through the best and worst case scenarios. What's that about?
Sounds intense.
It's like a mental rehearsal. Imagine the best possible outcome. You get everything you want. Then, the worst, everything goes wrong. By thinking through both, you're ready for anything.
Like a workout, but for your negotiating brain.
Haha, exactly. You get more flexible, more resilient, and it helps you figure out your walkaway point, that line you won't cross. When you know that, you're confident, you can walk away from a bad deal, no problem.
Like having an escape route planned, you know when to say, nope, I'm out of here.
Yep. And Voss says, figure that out beforehand, so you're not making emotional decisions when things get heated.
Keeping a cool head, making choices based on logic, not feelings.
Right on. And speaking of strategy, Voss gives some good tips for making one that really works. First, set a big goal, like the best possible outcome. Don't sell yourself short.
So, go big or go home, basically.
Exactly. Then, make a plan to get there. What's your leverage? What will they say back? Come up with arguments that fit their needs.
Like, map it all out. You know where you want to end up and how to get there.
Exactly. But any good map, it needs to be flexible, right? Things change, new info pops up, gotta adjust as you go.
Like those black swans, right?
Yeah.
They can mess up even the best plans.
Totally. So think on your feet, be ready for surprises, and always keep your eyes peeled for those hidden chances that can get you amazing results. So big picture now. We've dug deep into Chapter 1 of Never Split the Difference. If you want to be the smartest person in the room, what's the one thing to remember?
Give us the golden nugget.
It's all about people. Become a master at understanding them, listening, empathy, building those connections. That's your superpower. Use that emotional intelligence to get what you want. And remember, negotiating, it's not a fight, it's a dance. Everyone can win.
Well put. Be curious, not just trying to be the smartest. Understand, don't dominate. With all the stuff we've talked about today, you'll be the smartest person in any room, guaranteed. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive. Keep learning, keep growing, and keep negotiating your way to a better life.
Thanks for listening. Did you enjoy what you heard? Want to buy this book? Please use the link in the description to support the channel.